Hi, I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today in fingerboard geometry, we'll be coming back to bar chords. This time we'll be rooting our one chord on the fifth string and grouping the other bar chords within the key around it. First, we'll look at some fingerings and then we'll do some exercises. Here we go. Alright, today in fingerboard geometry we'll be looking at bar chords in the E and A form. So just to make sure we know what that means, E form bar chords are taken from the open E chord or E minor chord. We just take those chords and we move them up the fretboard. So if I play these chords at 5th fret, I'll either have an A or an A minor. So my root is here. So A major, A minor. Now, we could also do the same thing for A type chords. So, for instance, this is an open A major chord or an open A minor chord. And we can move those chords up the fretboard. So if I did that at the 5th fret, I would have a D major or a D minor. Now, I'm hoping that you all know this. But this is just to let you know what we're dealing with for this video. Now, we're going to place the one chord, meaning the primary chord of the key, on the 5th string. So we're setting up templates so that we can quickly find the chords or execute the chords within any key. And for some keys, it makes more sense to root the one chord on the 5th string. So for instance, if I did the key of D, my one chord would be located in the center of the fretboard, which makes more sense than putting my one chord D all the way up here, where it's starting to get tight with the fret spacing. So for a lot of keys, it would make sense to root the one chord here on the 5th string. So here's my D chord, and it's the one chord. Now what we're going to do is place our other chords around it. So I suggest that you first locate your 1, 4, and 5 chords. And if you saw my previous video about putting the one chord in the E form, we said that it created sort of a box. In this case, this is almost like a reverse box. The one chord is here, the 4 chord is always 2 frets back, and it's the other shape, it's the E shape. So in this key, that's a G. And then the 5 chord is here. So those are our 3 main chords of the key, the 3 major chords of the key. 1 chord D, 4 chord G, 5 chord A, and this will always be the shape for any key using this template. So that's our 1, 4, 5 template. Now let's add in the minor chords in the key. The minor chords are 2, 3, and 6. So for the 2 chord, I go up a whole step from the 1 chord. So here's the 1 chord D. I go up a whole step, and now I'm on E minor. So the 2 chord is minor. And I use my A minor shape, and that's my 2 chord E minor. Now to find the 3 chord, we can go down a half step from the 4 chord. So my 4 chord was G here. So if I move down 1 fret, 3 chord is located here, and it's minor, so I take out this finger. So now I have F sharp minor in this key. So that is my 3 chord. Find the 4 chord, go down a half step, make it minor, there's your 3 chord. Now for the 6 chord, the 6 chord is 1 whole step higher than the 5 chord. So if the 5 chord was here, A, the 6 chord would be a whole step up. So now I'm up to B, and I'm going to make it minor. So that is my 6 chord B minor. So that's our general working template. Now I've left off the 7 chord, that is C sharp diminished in this key. I don't really care for diminished type bar chord triad fingerings. They're not quite as useful as some of these other fingerings that we're going over. So for now we're going to leave the 7 chord out of the picture. So we're just dealing with 6 chords of the key. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 4, and 5 are major. 2, 3, and 6 are minor. Now that we've looked at the key of D, let's try to transpose this. Alright, now let's try the key of E. So we're going to start from the position of our 1, 4, 5 sort of reverse box. And so an E bar chord is located here at the 7th fret. So that's my 1 chord E, and my 4 chord is located here at the 5th fret A. And my 5 chord is 2 frets up, that's B. So 1, 4, 5. Now I can find my 2, 3, and 6. So E is 1, 2 is a whole step up, and it's minor, so that's F sharp minor. So that's my 2 chord. And then my 3 chord's a half step down from the 4 chord. So the 4 chord was A. So here's my A. So I go down 1 fret, make it minor, and that's my G sharp minor, my 3 chord. And then I'm going to go up to the 5 chord, that's B. And if I go up 2 frets, then I will be able to find the 6 chord. So that is going to be C sharp minor. Now, depending on where you're at on the fretboard, you might want to move any of these chords a fret or two, or change where you finger it because it might be getting crowded. That's okay. This is just a starting point so that you can locate the chords and then make some informed decisions as to where you actually want to end up playing them. So now that we've looked at the key of E, let's try C. So if I do the key of C, I'm going to be at the 3rd fret. That's where my C chord looks like an A or is rooted on the 5th string. So here's the C chord. Then the 4 chord is going to be F as per my reverse box. And the 5 chord is going to be G at the 3rd fret. So 1, C, 4, F, 5, G. Now to find my 2 chord, I go a whole step up from the 1 chord. So here's the 1 chord C. Move up a whole step to D minor. So that's my 2 chord. To find my 3 chord, I'm back at the 1. So now I'm going to go down to the 4. The 3 chord is 1 fret down. Well, I'm already at the 1st fret, so what do I do? Well, in this case, it would be open. So we know that the 3 chord is minor, and 1 fret down is open E minor. So here is the 3 chord, E minor. So in this key, we get an open 3 chord. Now, if we go back to the 1 chord, here's the 1 C, the 5 chord is here, G. So now I'm going to locate the 6 chord. The 6 chord is a whole step up. That puts me on A, and I'm going to make it minor, so it's A minor. Now, let's go to the exercises. For the exercises, we're going to do a chord progression chromatically up the fretboard from the key of B to the key of F sharp. And the chord progression is going to be 1, 6, 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. So that covers all the bases as far as the chords in the key. In this first key of B, though, I have to move the 3 chord up the neck. This is what I alluded to a little bit earlier. In some keys, you may have to move a chord over just because of where you're at on the fretboard. So for the key of B, I'm going to start on the 1 chord B. So the chord progression again is 1, 6. So the 6 chord is here. 4 is open. 5. Now here's what I mean. The 3 chord, we can't go lower, so we have to move the 3 chord up. So the 3 chord is D sharp minor. So the D sharp minor is here. Then I go to the 6 chord. Then the 2 chord. 5 chord, 1 chord. Then I would continue up the fretboard. We've already covered the key of C, but I'll just play it for you now. So we're going chromatically up, so we do the same thing. 1, 6, 4, 5. This time I can do the 3 chord in the lower direction. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Then I just continue up the board chromatically. Let's get a look. That's it for bar chords with the 1 chord rooted on the 5th string. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.